There are a lot of really clever circle cutting jigs that you can get for your bandsaw. However, you don't need anything big, expensive, or complex. All you need is a scrap of wood and a screw. I placed a screw about 5 inches over from the edge of the board. That's to give me a 10-inch wide circle. I've also drawn a line perpendicular to the screw, so that way I know where to line it up against the blade. I'll go ahead and place that line right up against where the teeth of the blade are, and I'm going to go ahead and clamp the board in place. Once the board is clamped in, I'll be able to go ahead and start cutting my circle. I'm just demonstrating with this thin sheet of plywood. You can cut circles as thick as you would like. I've gone ahead and put a hole through there. The hole does not need to go all the way through. It just needs to be able to be exposed from the bottom. I'm going to line that hole up with the screw and press it into place. I've already pre-cut the board, so that way I have the distance between where the hole is and the blade the same as what it was on the board. However, you don't have to do that. You could turn your saw on, slide the board into place, and then hook it onto the hole. Let me go ahead and show you how it works. There it is, an absolutely perfect circle. Now, if you want to make a fancier circle cutting jig, by all means, go for it. Here's one which I made. Custom made for this particular saw. It locks right in onto the table, bolts into place, has markings on here to be able to mark out the radiuses, and the pin is able to slide back and forth, so it's very easy to go ahead and adjust the size of the cuts. Once you've got a good circle cutting jig, you can cut much more than just circles. For example, I had a project where I needed these semi-triangular pieces with a curved top, and I needed a lot of them, and they all had to be exactly the same size. I was able to go ahead and create this jig with all the angles set in place with the pivot point that's able to fit right over here. Once that's in place, I was able to take my wood and cut it perfect every time. There it is. Another project where I had to cut out these arc-shaped segments. I was able to use a circle cutting jig, and in this particular case, I added to it this arc cutter. You'll notice that there are two cuts on it, the outside edge and the inside. I'm able to cut both and be very careful not to cut all the way through the jig. I'll show you how it works. Go ahead and place it on the pivot point, line it up with the blade, lock it in, and make your first cut. Now I have a perfect quarter circle. Next, slide this forward until it lines up with that existing curve. Lock it in and make the second cut. There it is. A perfect quarter circle arc ready to be used for a project. Here's another example of what you can do with a good circle cutting jig. In this case, I added another jig on top of it designed to go ahead and make convex cuts out of thick-sided wood boxes. All it does is swing on the pivot point, and this square of wood that's on top latches into the square in the bottom of the box. When I go ahead and make the cut, you'll see what it does on the sides of the box itself. See, made a nice cut. Let's go ahead and get the other 4 sides done. There it is. Pretty unique shape you're able to easily do. And as a bonus, you end up with a number of interesting cove cut pieces that you could use for other projects.